There we go, there we go. Who is here? Chosen one. Chosen one, P9. How are you? President. Hello, President. Mr. President, how are you? President for Empaths. It's Miss Val. What's good? Nico Smith. Miss Val from South Carolina. How are you, Miss Val? Okay, okay. You good? You good, yeah? Hey, Fali, how are you, Fali? Hello, Fali. Fali Blue. Who is going to be our moderator for today, guys? Who is going to moderate for us? Who would like to moderate for us today? Huh? Stormlander. So you guys already calling me Idris. Huh? Idris Elba. What if Idris hears this? What is he going to say? You want me to start to... So, how are you guys? How are you guys? Nice to see you guys. It's really nice to catch up with you guys. Morning, Tisha. Tish Kavil. Levandovich. Amelia. Okay. You can moderate for us today. just today. Moderator. So you can moderate for us. And then, so guys, be nice, okay? Be nice, really be nice. Spread the love. Let's be respectful, let's be polite, okay? This is an empath channel, so you guys know how the energy moves. So if you're moderating and you see those comments, please remove those comments. That's the reason of moderating. Okay, all right. What are the cons of being an empath? That's the channel, that's the chapter, the subject today. What are the cons of being an empath? It is a good thing to be an empath, okay? This is an empath channel, so I'm definitely 100% sure that everybody here is an empath. So if you're not an empath, then that means you're viewing the wrong platform, you're on the wrong channel. So this is a channel for empaths. There is things that we talk about, you don't understand, you can get triggered for nothing. You know, they could make your stomach burn. So when you're viewing empath things and we talk about some frequencies here, you don't understand these languages we use, you're a narcissist, toxic, whatever individual, you're going to get triggered. Because I cannot go and watch, for example, I cannot go and I watch a narcissist channel because I don't have a reason to do that. Why? If I know that a person is a narcissist, I get out of their way. I go my direction because I know where I need to be. So I don't bother myself with that kind of content. If they are like on lives and stuff, I would be there sitting down consuming narcissist content. So the same thing with empaths. If you're not an empath and you're there consuming the wrong content, then we talk about things, you get triggered, oh, this and this, this one is not true, and that one sometimes we could be talking with the NPCs, and sometimes these NPCs, when you're talking about these serious things, they start to glitch. You know, they will start to glitch. Because they don't know what you're saying, so they are going to start to glitch. Their mind will start glitching. So that's why it gets like tricky. Is why we did moderators, because you can see sometimes comments useless. You don't know what they are saying. They don't even know where they are at. They don't know what's going on here, so they can start polluting. They call it polluting. Yeah, they can start to pollute our channel. So this is a love platform, guys. Remember, we are very respectful people. It's a very humble platform, but we dive very deep. So the arrow might hit very hard and you're not ready. Okay? There's a video that is coming, SB777. There's a video that is coming about what you are dealing with. Okay? That is a demon that you're battling. I've just done a video today. The demons you need to defeat. You have got to kill the demon. Addictions, and another one about lust. I've done a whole video on that, so the video will come soon. You're going to have to battle those demons until you defeat them, because those demons are there to derail you. So they want to be a hindrance to your growth. Anything they can do to keep you distracted. So, you know, the video games and all that stuff, sometimes you will sit in front of those PS Vitas and what do they call those games? The PlayStations, you'll be there the whole day, you know, by the time you remember, oh, maybe I need to record a video, it's already night time. So you need to find something to eat and go to sleep. And the next day you repeat. So it's a demon that you're battling. You have got to battle that demon, and you have got to kill that demon. Okay? It's a healthy thing to game. I don't say that you shouldn't game at all altogether, you know, because sometimes you need a little bit of, and it also depends on the kind of games. It's like, for example, if you're a sensitive person, then I don't think there are some games that don't work for you. There are some you will know eventually, especially for the awakened people. You will know the kind of games you can play and the kind of games you don't want to play. Like these GTAs and what, you know, there's games you cannot play because you understand how reality works. So you don't engage in these extreme games. You want to play something easy just to relax your mind, you know, maybe arranging puzzles or things like that. You know, what do they call those things? The puzzle games, and then there's these other simple ones, you know, maybe car racing, something like that. Just relax. But then again, you don't let it consume you the whole day, okay? You're not going to be sitting down the whole day, you know, because when you do consume the games the whole day, there will not be any time for you to produce anything. You're not going to be productive. So you're going to be in that vibration the whole day of gaming, okay, till you go to bed. So you have to work on that. I've done a video on that particular question, and that's a very important question, SB777, okay? So it's an addiction, yes, that's an addiction. I've just talked about the addictions. The video will come out soon. So, you guys have noticed that nowadays, recently, the narcissists are starving. They are starving. You see, the reason why they are starving is because empaths are starting to wake up. A lot of empaths are starting to wake up. So the narcissists, they are now starving. Now they are looking around and everybody knows what is happening. Oh, everybody, narcissists, they are seeing the channels. Sometimes they are coming on these channels to spy. They even read your comments. They want to know, okay, so what are they saying now? How updated are they on their game? So they are keeping an eye on empaths because they are watching now empaths are starting to wake up. A couple of years ago, we didn't understand what was narcissism. We didn't know what it was. We were just going about our days, doing the normal things, nothing special. But now, recently, in this age of Aquarius, it's game over for the narcissist. A lot of them, they know that it's game over for them. They have been playing this game for so long. Now the empaths are waking up and they are taking back their power and removing them from their lives, deleting them, blocking them. They are refusing access to their energy because narcissists have been very accustomed to your energy for the longest of time. They have been siphoning your energy for decades. But now the empaths are starting to become aware of narcissism and they are detaching. They are blocking this narcissist energy. So they are going on the rampant, you know. It's like a little baby when they have like food. So you take the food away from them, they are going to be screaming. You know, when you're feeding these the kids, you know, they have this milk or whatever, baby food, and then you remove the food, they scream. That is what is happening with these nurses. So you may see in the next couple of months or years, you are going to see narcissists becoming very aggressive, extremely aggressive, because they are realizing something they used to get too easy, something that was so easy for them to get a couple of years ago, is becoming very difficult. Back in the days, they would just go online. Oh, they need what do they call it? They need what is that thing called? You know, those dating sites. So they need some relationship, something, maybe a fling. Let's call it a fling. So they just go there, they sign up, put a picture there, and they go. They're going to get somebody that weekend, and then they go back for the next one. It was easier to get supply. Now, the empaths are starting to realize that those websites actually they are being run by narcissists. They're the ones behind the buttons, and a lot of them are flooding those sites looking for supply. So what do the empaths do? The empaths, they leave the sites. Now the narcissists are there dating each other. They are there lying to each other, you know, because at the end of the day, you're going to see a lot of those dating sites. They are full of narcissists. Now they're going to start lying to each other, manipulating each other, and they're going to, but the empaths are removing their energy, is what I'm trying to say. So they are now starting to realize it is getting real for them. Gone are the days when you could be manipulated. You run into this one, another one comes, this one leaves, another one comes. Now, you put the boundaries and they cannot cross your boundaries. You know what you need to say. You know where you need to be. You know who you need to speak to and who you don't need to speak to. You know, you're starting to heal. You're becoming better. You know. Yemima, how are you, Yemima? Buzingia. Bonzigia. Mindy, how are you, Mindy? Hello. How are you doing? President for Empaths, don't worry about the rejection. It is for your own good. It is the universe refusing connections that are not beneficial for you. You know? Buzigia. Don't worry about what is President Empaths. Don't worry about the rejection. I used to struggle with rejection. I used to think, I used to take it personal when I was starting my healing journey. I used to think it was personal. Oh, somebody rejects you, you take it so personal. You think there's something going on. Then I realized that actually this thing, I was trying to get involved with people, situations that was not good for my growth. So it was a blockage. The universe is blocking you, you know. So there's lessons that you're going to learn, and rejection is one of them. Isolation is another one. Okay, loneliness. I was rejected and I was thinking something wrong or what is going on? Why do I keep on getting rejected? If you want a job, they don't listen to you. You want to speak with somebody, they walk the other side. You go this way, they walk the other side. Now I'm looking back and I'm thinking those was NPCs actually, you know. There was just NPCs I was running at the time. There was these, you know, these people you couldn't see. When you say hello, it's like you're talking to something. It's like, you know, you see them turning around, you see them glitching around, they move the other way. The universe is protecting you. If you meet an empath, a real empath, a real person who knows your frequency, they will not reject you. They're going to stand with you, they will talk with you, you can have a conversation. But if you meet a person who is not at your frequency, they reject you. And that thing happens a lot when you go through a spiritual awakening. The rejection happens a lot when you go through an awakening. It is a very common thing that happens to awakened individuals. Rejection, isolation. Those are the lessons. It's a masterclass, I've told you. It's a masterclass. So guys, I need the active moderator who is going to be watching these comments, So the idea of moderating, basically you need to go through to see what people are writing. Sometimes we have bots that are polluting the comment section. So you need to be able to figure out what they are writing, okay? So we want to keep it very polite, very, Lutz Moller. Hi from Germany. How are you, Lutz Moller? How is everything? Yeah, rejection sucks. You're right. It is something only a person that has experienced rejection will understand. If you have not gone through rejection, you will never understand what it is. It really, really sucks. Do you know when you really want connections with people and everybody just looks the other way? And it doesn't even make any sense. You're like, so is there anything wrong? Are you saying something wrong? No, he didn't say anything wrong. You will be rejected. The matrix is going to reject you. It's going to send these people to make you gaslight yourself. You're going to think there's something wrong with you. It's one of the lessons that you have to learn. So you're going to overcome that rejection. The moment you understand that you are enough, you are enough, you are enough, rejection doesn't exist anymore. So when you continue working, one of the things I've learned, the lessons I've learned with the rejection, as you keep on moving forward and you heal, so you're going to start meeting the people that used to reject you. You can run into those people randomly and they're going to look like they have seen a ghost. Do you know the reason why? Because the moment they rejected you, you went back home to self-reflect and you healed the wound. So the more the rejection, the more wounds you heal. You go back to heal some wound, that wound that is seeking for validation. You heal one wound at a time. Now the time when you have done all that work on yourself, you run into those people. It will look like they have seen a ghost. You'll even sometimes see them panicking around because they know that they have rejected you a couple of years ago. Now they think that you are way ahead of their time, So they have that kind of like guilt, Are we together, guys? Lovokazi Nkoyana. I always struggle with that name. How are you? So we have our moderator that is back here. So moderating, basically what you do, you check out for the useless comments because they are polluting our platform. So they are the ones you remove. Okay? what are the cons of being an empath? Number one, empaths, they suffer or they struggle with savior. There's something that I think is called savior mentality. They like to be saviors. You see, when you're empath, you always have that instinct that you need to save everybody. Have you ever guys been in a situation where you run into somebody, maybe some of those narcissists you've even dated before? So you run into this narcissist, maybe they was homeless, maybe they was there struggling, they didn't have a job. I've had some sad sessions with people, and it was one of the things we was talking about. This guy walks in, they was nearly homeless or something, they didn't have anywhere to sleep. They come around crying, oh, this and that, and they what, and they came out, said out of stories. So this lady came in bringing this nurse, oh, don't worry, this and this. So they start this relationship, okay, I have a place we can live, this and this, don't worry about the job. The lady took. So you guys are seeing this thing of savior mentality, where it can, this thing of savior, trying to save everybody, where it can lead you. So, the lady brought in the narcissist to her house. Don't worry, we shall work things out. Let's live together, okay, this and this. They try to fix everything. The lady fills in the CVs, the resumes, goes around hunting for jobs. Okay, I know some place, puts the resume there, put the CV there, the narcissist got a job. In a few, I think it was a couple of months, maybe it was about 3-4 months, the narcissist got promoted. They even got a salary increase. So you guys are seeing how sometimes you are blessing these narcissists, and then they are turning around to torment you. The only blessing they have is the one they are tormenting. The lady brought in this narcissist. I'm talking about being, that thing of being a savior mentality that a lot of empaths have. So I'm breaking it down for you to understand how it works. The man got promotions, salary increase. The man got so comfortable he was getting too much money. You know what the man did? That narcissist? The narcissist started looking at this lady like she was garbage. The one who got her the job, the one who filled in the CVs and the resumes. The lady started to see this narcissist like he was, the narcissist started to see the lady, who was the partner now at that time. Now at that time they was dating. They was now seeing the lady as the garbage. The lady did everything. At the end of the day, the lady actually, I think, what I remember, she lost her job. Something happened at that, she lost her job. The man started tormenting her. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you are saving the wrong people. You are saving the wrong people. Those people, when they are desperate, they will come in and they will give you that look. You will know that these people, they are sinking. You want to pull them out from the gutters. They will kneel down, they will cry, they will beg, they will plead, because now they are desperate. You bring them in, you will feed them, you will house them. Maybe like in that situation, they even became your boyfriends. You got intimate with them, you made them very comfortable. You fixed them, you brought them from A to B. When they get to B, they want you out of the way. They are going to start punishing you. That is when you know that you made a mistake. Empaths suffer from savior mentality. You are actually saving people that they didn't ask. Yes, they asked. They didn't need to be saved. The next time when you're saving people, look very closely. Be very careful. You might be saving the snake. When the snake is trapped in a branch somewhere, you come around and save the snake. As soon as you release it, the snake will bite you. Sometimes you ended up saving the wrong people. So that is something that empaths have got to learn. Okay? Use your discernment to understand this person, do they really need saving? Or are they just trying to find an opening they can use because you're too nice? Some people have asked me to start translating my videos because I have a lot of some followers from different nations, Spanish, French. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, I don't know, I think I should use French, English, and then French subtitles. So what do you guys think, English or Spanish? Because I can't use both. I could use both, but the video will look too messy because, we have now the French subtitles, the Spanish. I think we need to choose like one. I was thinking about French subtitles. What do you guys think? Translations. Because there's people that want to follow me. They want to see my videos, but they can't understand what I'm saying. I have some people from the Middle East, and they don't understand. So I need to know which language is the best one we can use. Savior mentality is number one. Number two, a lot of empaths struggle with saying no. Saying no. That is one of the things that I struggled with the most. Do you know when you really don't want to do something, but you can't find a way of saying no? Somebody asks you for something. I've healed those things now. I no longer have it. When I think this is not good for me, I'm going to say no. And I don't need to apologize for refusing to engage or something like that. If somebody has something to do or to say, I will say no. Okay, somebody comes on these channels now, they have to start polluting the channel, the comment section with a lot of these nonsense, bogus messages. I can just delete. I don't need to explain why am I deleting, because I know what's going on. So those are the wounds you have to heal. Sometimes you have people coming and walking into your life, and they're asking you for certain things. And now you're there thinking, but this is my family member, so what will happen if I refuse? What happens if I say no? You're going to struggle with that. And that is a wound you have got to heal. That is a lesson that you need to learn from the universe, because the universe wants you to learn, first of all, to understand that you've got the power to reject and to refuse the things that are not serving you. Are you coming for this weekend party? You surely don't want to go. You know that you want to stay home, maybe you have some few plans to do, maybe you have a book to read. You're thinking, it's my parents. How can I say no that I'm not going? If you say no, they're going to start fighting around with you. Oh, we knew it. We knew. Why they're going to start making you feel guilty. When you say no, you feel guilty. So you guys are seeing the challenges, the real challenges that empaths have. Many empaths that have not yet fully healed, they struggle to say no, Sometimes you're in the workplace and you have these people that you work with. Oh, can you help me with this assignment? Oh, something I need to do. Help me with this assignment. You really don't want to do it because maybe sometimes you have something for yourself on your own assignments to finish. But you're thinking that, now this guy is my friend, at work, we have the breaks together. You can't say no. You hand over, you step in to do for them the things that they should be doing themselves, but because they think you will say yes. And out of those guys, they come with intentions. They know that, if I ask so and so, they are going to say yes. You've always been a yes man. If I do this, if I ask them this, they will say yes. So they come in because they know that you cannot say no. Now, as I'm speaking, there are some people who contact me, but they surely know there is things they will ask for, and I will tell them no. Empaths, they struggle with saying no. It will be later on along your journey. Will you now realize that, now I get it. I see what it is, I just didn't love myself too much, well enough back in the days. Because I always thought, or you always thought, you had to put people in front of you. In front of your own, you have your own things to deal with, your own baggage to carry. But you always wanted to carry other people's baggage, and you forget your own. Is what has been happening with many empaths. Empaths, they struggle to say no. Hey, can you help me with this? Yes. Hey, please, this, yes. This, yes. Can I sleep at your house tonight? Yes. Then you bring in these nurses, you bring in these vampires. By the time they leave in the morning, they walk out with your energy. They walk out with all your energy, you know. So I believe that is one of the lessons that we are supposed to learn about self-love. Natukonda, how are you? You know? So you think that if you refuse and you said no, somebody is going to be offended because you said no, and you won't feel guilt about it. You feel obligated to say yes every time somebody needs something, because you know why? That is the empath signature. The people that have been around you, they know who you are on that level. And they use that as an advantage. If I go to so-and-so, 100%, you just go. Have you ever met somebody and they told me, you know, I was looking for something and somebody there told me to come to you. Do you know why they send them to you? Because the people know that you are going to, you will accept. You go and try the neighbor over there next door. People have already seen your signature. They know your energy. They know that when a person needs something or they ask anything, you're going to say yes. So they are going to start directing people towards your direction. The neighbor next door told me to come and ask you. Why did the neighbor send them to you? Because the neighbor knows that you're a yes man. How can I leave these belongings in your house? You know, I'm rushing a little bit. If you can keep for me these things, I'll pick them up in 2 or 3 hours. The person will come back next day. And by the time you now see the things that they are left to keep what do they call it? They left at your house to keep for them. There are things you shouldn't have in your home. But you said, yes, I'll keep it. You kept it in the house. You have always been a yes man. That is where you have gotten into a lot of trouble, because you have been saying yes in cases and situations where you were supposed to say no. When I healed, those are the things that I was working on, you know? It's the thing that I was working on. I say, okay, finally, now I can be able to say no, and I don't feel bad about it. Yes, I left the toxic family unit. Back in the years, I used to explain, because this, because that. Now I said, I left because I left. Toxic is toxic. There's no way to sugarcoat toxicity. It is toxic, it is toxic. I called it what it is. I called it out for what it is, and I walked away. So I did not owe anybody an explanation. I said it was toxic family. Okay, no more is enough. I walked away. There was no need to explain. In the beginning, I used to explain because I used to feel guilt about it, you know? But I gave you my number the other time. Why you didn't call me? Now you're explaining. You know that you didn't want to call the person. Now you're going to start explaining. You even sometimes lie to the people. Maybe I forgot. I put the number somewhere, I forgot. This, you are trying to explain. Just tell them you didn't call because you was not in the mood. Or maybe just told them you didn't call because you felt like you guys don't have anything to talk about. As simple as that. You don't have to explain anything. Just say no. you will learn how to protect your energy and how to avoid unnecessary drama the moment you refuse and you start saying no. I'm not saying that you're going to go around saying no to everybody. You have to use your discernment, okay? A person may walk in genuinely and they really have good intentions, so you have to use discernment. They may ask something from you, you know? So when I was starting back in the years, so I'm just sharing these things with you to give you a hint on what it really means to start choosing yourself. So there used to be these people sometimes, they would text me, oh, I would like to have a session. I say, okay, you want to have a session? I will tell them my fees. Actually, back in the days, I was even very cheap. It was because, the channel was still young. I was still learning a lot of things. So I would give them my fee, I send them the email, okay, you have to pay this and this and this, and we can have the session. I gave them all the details. Oh, somebody said, oh, how can you charge for doing God's work? Well, you cannot charge for doing God's work. It's supposed to be free. So somebody actually, that is how wounded people are. Somebody thinks that you are going to leave everything you're doing on the side. So now you're going to sit down on the phone with this person for an hour or two. Then they are going to dump all their garbage, all their trauma. You are going to be there doing it for free. Then afterwards, you finish the phone, you can go back on your business. Then on top of that, you're going to be doing the videos and make the videos available for some people. In my videos, actually, guys, if you guys have noticed, they are very detailed, and there's a reason as to why I do those things like that. They are very detailed videos. Not many people give you so much details in their videos. I do my content and I put so much detail. Do you know why? Because I fully understand there is people that may not afford a session. So I may have to give away a lot of information in the videos. It will still help them. There is people that I've been with President for Empaths for years now. He has never booked a session with me, but he's doing okay. There is people that have been following me for a while. We have never had a session together. Many of them, just even with the videos alone, they have already done their work. They don't need sessions. I give away a lot of information because I know I may not have a chance to sit down with you. Maybe you may not be able to afford to sit down with me for an hour or so. So I give away a lot of information. It is enough to help you. So I do these sessions for the ones that have got a little bit more complex scenarios, situations. They're a little bit more complex, and I may not have mentioned a few things in the videos. So that's when now I say, okay, maybe your situation is a little bit different. We're going to have to sit down for an hour or so, and we're going to go through your own situation to see what is really happening. Now that's when I charge for those sessions. But some people still have the audacity to think that I'm supposed to do that for free. So you guys have seen me, I do videos in nature. I like doing videos in nature, okay? Me and nature, we are very good friends. I will take out my camera. I will go around, find the best spot. Okay, this is a nice place to chill, no noise around. I will do my video. I come back home. I will be sitting down to do some editings. Maybe there is some things where whatever I need to remove some stuff. You guys know the editing. Okay, that is time. Then I will upload. Let's not even talk about giving away a lot of information for free. Now there is somebody else who would approach me. They want a session and they want it by force. Oh, it's God's work. People think I'm a bishop. And I tell them, listen, there is 1,800 videos on YouTube on this channel. Even the thing you may be asking about, I may already have addressed it in a video or two. You cannot charge for God's work? Really? Even pastors in church, bishops, they pass baskets. Pastors doing God's work, they pass baskets and people give money. So Empaths have that mindset sometimes. Not all. Some empaths think that, and that is actually that we're going to come to that though. That one is another thing I've mentioned in one of the lists. That is where sometimes you are, a person is like very codependent. You know, that gives us some kind of codependent energy. You know, you get too attached to somebody and you feel like you're entitled to their energy for free, you know, just, okay, we're going to have a call and we're going to be talking. So I'm supposed to do whatever, stop doing whatever it is I'm doing. We're going to sit down. I'm going to be talking with you on the phone for an hour or so. So whatever it is I'm supposed to do should be put on the side, and I'm going to do that for free. So now I don't have those issues anymore. When I say my price, somebody affords, they will pay, and we go on with it. They don't afford, no big deal. I don't longer get those kind of energy, but back in the days I used to get that kind of energy. So I can now say no, because I have built my brand. I've been doing this thing for years. It has taken me so much work. For the ones who know what it means to create, you know how hard it is to create these things. If everybody could create things, everybody would do that. But when you have your creation, maybe you wrote your own book, maybe you started up your dance studio, and somebody wants to walk in and they want to dance for free. They don't want to pay anything. Oh, you know, it's a dance studio, so everybody should dance. So we're supposed to dance for free. Is what it looks like. You walk into somebody's business and you want to just pick up things for free or do things for free, is what people think. People have that kind of entitlement. So when you heal, you start to understand your value. You understand your worth. You know your worth. I know my worth. I know that my time and energy is very valuable. I'm going to be sitting down there giving you blueprints on things that are going to break you free forever, and you want that for free. Do you guys see where this whole thing comes in? So empaths, I'm teaching you to start valuing yourself. You have left family members behind. They was not worthy your time and energy. You don't have to apologize. You don't need to feel guilty about it because you left toxicity behind. Toxicity, once it's removed out of your life, whether it is a family member, your parent, your brothers, your ex-wife, whatever, if it has been toxicity, you have every right to remove that toxicity out of your life. Or you can walk away from that toxicity if you cannot remove it out of your life. You don't need to apologize. If you had a long day, you was very tired, somebody will invite you, oh, there's a concert, Burna Boy is coming in town, oh, this one is coming in. You know who you are. You know that even sometimes you don't like, and we're going to come to that as well, is another thing I'm talking about. You can always say, okay, I'm going to be at home. I can catch it up on TV if possible. I may see the video on YouTube. I may see it online. Whichever artist is coming, whatever is going on out there, you don't want to participate. Maybe you have the time to do that. Okay, may say, oh, you know, maybe it would be nice to catch up a concert. I may come with you. Okay. If you really don't feel that you don't want to go, you have got to say no. There's no problem with refusing to participate in the things that are not helping you evolve. Do you know how many times people have gone to gatherings that they felt they shouldn't go? They went to those gatherings and they regretted the decision. They was drained. One time I went to a party. I remember going to some party. And for some reason I was thinking maybe I shouldn't go, but okay, you know, it would be nice to just go and meet people. I was invited, but the good thing is that I was invited by my best friend. So either way, it was a free day, there was nothing going on, no videos, I went. But still, when I went there, I regretted the decision, because at the end of the day, I was there, and now there was these drunk Jezebels, you know, pouring drinks around in the air. At the end of the day, they poured alcohol on me. I wasn't even consuming alcohol at that time. I ended up, they poured alcohol on me. You know, the glass, I don't know what happened. They was fighting around and they spilled alcohol on my clothes. You know? So you have to learn to say no. In a polite way, don't just do it, you know, it may turn out sometimes cold. Find a polite way to say no without having to hurt people's feelings. I'm not available, I'm going to be busy. That's it. Don't need to explain further. The ones who want to understand, they will understand, but you don't have to over-explain yourself. Okay? So those are the things that empaths have got to really understand. You know? One of the things that will hurt toxic people, narcissistic people, one of the things that will hurt them, it will break toxic people the moment you say no. So that's why a lot of empaths, they are struggling with this thing, because they think that, I cannot tell my father. When I tell my father no, my father's going to be very angry, or maybe they may be this. That is how you feel, because they are too toxic. You know that when you tell them no, they are going to be very irritated and they are going to start raging around. So sometimes you may say yes, you don't want to, but you say yes because you feel okay, you know, you may hurt their feelings. So maybe you want to say yes so that at least you can keep that. You know, empaths, sometimes you want to keep the balance. You want things to be, you know, the energy to be balanced out properly. So sometimes you have to say yes, even in moments where you have to say you wanted to say no. When you're healing, this is one of the things you're going to heal: loving yourself and being able to choose yourself. You have to know your worth. If people want to access your energy just like that because you're too available, some of them want to access your products for free, you are allowed to say no. It is until somebody will start working on something and then somebody will come and try to access it for free. Will they now understand the value of how much work they are putting to how much work and energy they are putting to themselves? You will never appreciate what people are doing unless, you see, a person can open up a shop and they can start selling their little products, you know, maybe women's wigs, whatever, clothes, whatever, doesn't matter. Even sometimes it can be a hairdresser shop. So, and the person comes in and they want to do their hair for free. Now, you as a shop owner, you'll be thinking, so you're going to be sitting down there and work on this person just for free for an hour, maybe more. And you're thinking that maybe it's not worth it because you know how much energy you have put into your shop, how much crafts, how much creativity you have put into your craft, and you at least want to earn something from it. It should also be able to pay your bills, to take care of you, because you also have families that you feed. You pay your bills. So at least you want to make sure that this craft can bring you some returns. Okay? You will learn to say no, my chosen ones. It's very, very important for your growth. And you don't have to feel bad about it. The third thing that empaths struggle with. Now, my videos are very elaborated because I want to make sure that we get the point, okay? So I usually give you some background information of what you really need to understand. Empaths struggle with. Many empaths think that everybody is an empath, you know? Everybody has got empathy. You know, when you're a person who was, you know, well, many years ago, I didn't even know that I was an empath. I didn't know anything about empathy. But then you understand that you're an empath. And then now you remember that, oh, you used to think everybody was like you. You didn't even know that there were some people that didn't have a soul. They didn't have any empathy. They were just empty, hollow, holographic vessels, you know. There's no soul there, there's no essence, there's nothing. They're just moving around like boats. You used to think everybody was like you, everybody had a soul. I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen, post-awakening, this is something I started to understand clearly. I remember, so one time I'm out there, I'm at the workplace. I remember one evening, so I'm talking to this guy. And the guy is, the guy is just standing, looking in one place like that. You know, sometimes you think, maybe you start thinking that maybe this awakening, I think it has shown you too much. You have seen too much. I was awakened at that time. So I started looking through the glitch, the glitches. You know, I was the glitch at the time. I could see the simulation for what it was. So I'm with this guy. This guy is looking in one place. I'm observing, you know, I observe, I take my time to observe. So I wasn't doing any comments, but I was just observing. You know, there comes a time where you start to observe everything around you. You become the observer, right? So I'm just watching this guy is, you know, staring in one direction like that. You know, hands in his pocket. So I started talking to him about conscious things, you know, consciousness and those things, high level stuff, you know, those deep emotional conversations. And he was still in one place like that, looking that way in one place like that. So I'm talking. And then I'm noticing the guy is not moving. He's just in one place like a robot, you know, just like that he's staring in one direction like that. So it's when I start to, you know, I hit him a little bit. I tap him on the hand. I say, did you hear what I said? What it is? What are you saying? I repeated the same thing. I said it the third time. So that's when I understood that, oh, I'm talking to the wrong person. It wasn't clicking. Ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time I saw a real glitch in real time. It wasn't clicking. Nothing was clicking. I was talking about deep stuff. It was not in their frequency. Is when I say, oh, okay, I get it. He just doesn't get me. He doesn't understand. So I stopped talking. You know what I started now talking? I switched the conversation. Oh, sports. That one, we started talking about the sport. Hey, the sports, this one and that one. That one was talking. The deep stuff, he wasn't listening. So that's when I knew the difference. I said, oh, so there is just simply some people. It is one of the things that has actually caused you a lot of trouble. Why? You used to think everybody was like you. You have real emotions. You can feel things. You can feel. Emotionally, I'm not talking about this physical thing whereby sometimes somebody got a little cut on his hand. No. Real emotional, you can feel things. Emotions. You used to run into these energy vampires. You used to think they could feel the same way you do. And you see what happened with the narcissistic people? You got burnt out by the narcissist. That is because you was not at the same emotional frequency. Many empaths, all throughout their lives, they have thought everybody was like them. Everybody can feel, everybody understands, everybody's a little bit too deep. You can resonate with. It was never the case. It is not, it has never been, it will never be the case. So the moment you meet people and you start realizing that you don't have emotional depth, it's like you're trying to go a little bit deeper with things and you see them moving the other side, you're confusing them, they are glitching, you have to stop talking. You have to know that you are dealing with somebody who is on a completely different frequency, and you guys, the more you keep it pushing, you're going to start burning each other. Is how the empath and the narcissist burn each other. That is what has happened with empaths and narcissistic relationships. You ended up burning each other because you was two individuals that was moving the opposite direction. Not everyone is like you. Now you're awakened, you see. You can understand what it has always been. Lizzie World, thank you, much gratitude. So you guys are following. By the way, guys, I think Lizzie was one of our first. I think Lizzie, we had a session like 3 years ago. I might have had a session with you. Lizzie, yes. I think I had a session with you, Lizzie, a couple of years ago. One of my first clients, actually, you know. So you've been with us for a while. If you are the Lizzie I'm thinking about, you must have been with us for a while. I think I had a session with you, Lizzie. It's like 3 years ago. So you guys are following. So you have always thought everybody was like you. And because of that mindset, you have entangled with energy vampires, people that almost took the life out of you. Not everybody has got empathy. Not everybody has got empathy. There is sometimes people, you see them soulless, you know. The only thing they see is violence and this and that and people killing each other. That's the only thing they think about. The only thing they want to see. For you to understand the kind of individual you're dealing with is when you run into, when you meet an individual who is at that vibration. People don't have empathy. Many people don't have empathy. Empaths, the real ones, empaths, they are a very small group of people. For you to be able to connect energetically with an individual on that emotional level, it's a gift. Is where you know that you're gifted. You are able to connect emotionally and energetically with an individual. You can even feel things. You can almost feel the way they feel. So when sometimes you see, like, for example, there's an accident, you don't want to be there because there's things that you're looking at and, you know, these things, broken arms. But you see some people will be there taking pictures. Some people are going to be taking selfies. People are going to be at the accident scene, they're taking selfies. Oh, yeah, can you imagine? We'll look at him under the car. Oh, how is it? This, what were they? They're taking selfies. You cannot be there. You don't want to see those things. If you are there, you have to be of help, of service. You have to make sure you help somebody. You will not even take out your phone for 1 second because you will know what you need to do. Because you are empath, so you can connect with that situation. You will already know what these people is going through. But there's some people who are, you know, these NPCs, they won't be taking selfies. Somebody is drowning, they're on the lake with their cameras taking selfies. They don't even know what's going on there. Are you guys following what it really means to be an empath? You know? Hey, when you say no, that is when the demon will reveal itself. If a person is narcissistic in nature and you say no to them, that is when they are going to expose themselves. The demon will come out. How dare you, you know? One of the things this journey has taught me, this journey I've been doing this spiritual journey for quite some years now. It has taught me to see people and things for what they are. I used to give excuses many years ago. Maybe they are too sensitive. Or maybe they are this. You can give them another chance. Benefit of doubt. Now I see things as they are. When you're a narcissist, I see you as a narcissist. Nothing more, nothing less, and I'm on my way. No need to explain. There's no need to wait for the second red flag. I don't need to see the third one. I'm on my way. I don't need to sit down. We don't need to talk about nothing. No need to explain. I will see you for what you are, and I'll walk away. And when I'm leaving, I'll slam the door. That's how cold you get when it gets to self-love. You choosing, starting to love yourself, that is how cold you're going to get. You will learn how to slam the doors. So that's when you see those knocks, they are going to start, Hey, you think he's so special? There's one Jezebel a couple of years ago. So there was this Jezebel. I think sometimes it is very important to be very careful. When a person tells you they are awakened, give them distance. Because they're going to break you. An awakened person is going to break your ego. They are going to crack the entire ego. So that Jezebel, they send the emails, my name is this. I said, okay. They send the pictures, their best selfies and what and everything. I said, okay. Me, I was waiting. I wait. I'm patient. I can wait. I said, let me wait. Let's see how it goes. So I started seeing where this whole thing was going. That was like 4 years ago, many years ago. So I told this individual that, listen, I just walked out of a narcissistic relationship. Now, at the moment, it is tough. I'm healing. It's a lot of work, and I cannot focus on any relationship. I need to do me. So what I didn't realize at the time is that I had injured the narcissist. This was a Jezebel for sure. The Jezebel went into rage. They came on the channel and started pouring a lot of comments. This guy is a narcissist, and this and this and this. I didn't. You see, that's the good thing with me. Because you see, some people is toxic, and they want you to swim along with the toxicity. The reactions they give, pull and push, this and that. Hey, you, this and this, you're defending it. No. I pull back and I let you swim on your own. The Jezebel went on the rage because I refused to date her. And that became a problem. That is when I knew. Now you can imagine what if I had said yes. Just imagine. I refused because I told this Jezebel I was healing. I was not in time for looking somebody what I was on my healing journey. So I injured that Jezebel. Now you can imagine if I had said yes. What would the Jezebel be saying? So I blocked this Jezebel. I got a couple of them in the beginning, many years ago. I think like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So this journey teaches you things about yourself and about how people really think. Humanity. Empaths also do not like crowded places. That's one of the things with empaths. So empaths, uh, so now that I understand what is really going on, I am looking back many years ago, when they were the teenage years, those years, the teens. And I'm thinking why I never really liked going to the club. I never really liked clubbing. So, when you go to club and you're just doing it for the buddies, for your mates, the buddies, the friends, we're going, with the teenagers, we put our big clothes and everything. We go to the clubs and everything, but you get home and you feel like you're drained, and sometimes you have headaches, too much this and too much that, chaos. And concerts is why sometimes you see empaths, they like to stay in their own home. People in concerts, low noise, the music, the banging, everything. The empath is in their own house reading a book. They listen to some music. They are, doing some cooking in the kitchen. That's the empath's territory. That is how they thrive. So if you're empath, eventually you have noticed you never really liked being in crowded places. You could go. It doesn't mean you never go. You could go to sometimes events, but usually it is not your cup of tea. It's not your cup of tea. It is not something you are. It's not something you really want to engage. It doesn't do it for you, because of the way you feel about your energy. It gets you drained. Sometimes people, by the time you leave, everybody has been stepping all over you. It was, concerts crowded. Sometimes somebody spilled alcohol on you and stuff like that. And you know that this is not your cup of tea. This is not where you want to be. You could go. I'm not saying you'll never go. You will go sometimes if necessary, but you prefer to just stay home and do your own. Read a book, maybe, play some soft music, or I like cooking. Go do something in the kitchen, play around with food. Maybe take a walk in the park, maybe walk your dog, go walk at the seaside, at the beach, So you pretty much like small little groups, where you can actually hear each other. When you guys are talking, you can hear what they're saying, they hear what you're saying, you have very, what do they call it? One of the things you realize with empaths, especially the enlightened empath, they're very deep. So when you have like conversations with them, you will really see they have a lot of depth. When they're saying things, they may go very deep. And sometimes you feel like you just need a few people to engage and talk and chat a little bit. You don't need concerts. You don't need noise. You don't need chaos. So when you're empath, so you best believe that you are not going to be people may think you're funny. Some people are going to think you're funny. Look at him. We was chilling the other day. It was on the weekend here. Hey, there was this big concert in town. You're like, okay, how did it go? Good. Okay, good for you. There's nothing. You're not attached to those things. So it's what I think that sometimes you're going to be called funny because you missed a concert on the weekend. Or you missed a big event. You only do it when you have to, but you don't need to. You don't need to, but you can do it when you have to, but you don't need to, if that makes sense. Sometimes when you go for those crowded events or stuff, you can end up, taking some time to recharge. You need to breathe. So sometimes you can, at the end of the day, you want to sit down and take some deep breaths because, it's been overwhelming for you. It's one of the things that they didn't tell you in schools. Nobody told you about these things. Energy, this empathy, because it's why you was always confused most of the time. You couldn't understand why you couldn't do some things and what was too easy for other people you couldn't do. And what you thought was easy, people couldn't do. So you've always been around like that, going in circles without actually really understanding who you were on an energetic level. The next point is very important. So when you're empath, you will usually take on other people's energy. Now, I remember a couple of years ago, sometimes you enter these public transports and I could fall asleep. So I could enter, maybe sometime we are sitting in a meeting, maybe it is a school meeting or something, maybe it's public transport, whatever, and I could just fall asleep and I couldn't understand why. I could start dozing. And I never knew what was going on, even when I was in class. Whatever was, class times and stuff, I could even sleep in church. And I would just be there, we're sitting in class, I start dozing. We sit in church, I start dozing off. And that thing used to happen for quite a number of times until I used to think there was a problem or something. I didn't understand what was the issue. Usually what is really happening, you're starting to take on people's energy. And sometimes it can get to the extent where you may even feel, let me give an example. A person could walk in with a very bad mood. Maybe they had a divorce yesterday, maybe they was fighting with the wife or whatever. A person comes in and they stay around you, and you're going to feel that same emotion they are feeling at that time. You're going to start feeling like them. And you woke up, you had good energy, you came in, all of a sudden you feel bad. You feel this energy, there is something you don't understand. You feel like the way they feel is the same thing you're going to feel. And you don't even know what is happening. You take on people's energy. Sometimes you can have a burning sensation in your stomach. When you're around these people with very bad energy, now we understand that these people with very, very horrible energy, very bad energy. When they are around you, you can start to feel this sensation. Your energy will simply reject the person, even sometimes before they speak. Have you ever been around someone and they've been trying to get closer to you, but you keep on moving? They try to get closer, you keep on moving. Your energy, your essence has already rejected the person because they have got very bad energy. And sometimes you can have the same feeling. Let's say they have a headache. A person has a headache around you, you're going to have the headache. Somebody is not happy, you may end up not being happy. When a person is moody, you're going to be moody. When they are happy, you're going to be happy. So you start taking up people's energies. And sometimes it's not even your energy. You don't even know which one is yours. It has been happening for very many years until now that you're starting to realize you've always been an empath. So the next time you go to work and maybe you are in your office and you start to feel sick, you're having this headache, strange headache, you're starting to feel like some pain in your stomach, there is somebody around you who has that feeling. They haven't yet spoken, but you've already felt it. So is why these narcissists like you to be around them. That's why you start to understand the spiritual dynamics of these narcissists, how they've been operating behind the scenes. Because now you see why these narcissists with very dark energy, they always wanted to be around you. You used to carry that weight for them. The way they used to feel about themselves, the lack of self-worth, the shame, the regret, you used to carry on those emotions as your own. While the narcissist was in exchange carrying your emotions, you was carrying theirs. So you used to offload the burden off of them energetically. Is why they always wanted to be around you. You help them to carry their burden. emotional baggage. Until now, I don't understand why is no one teaching about narcissism in school. We wouldn't be here talking about these things. People go to school and they learn everything. They learn this, they learn that. Nobody will talk about empathy. Nobody will talk about spirituality. Nobody will talk about narcissism. They will learn everything. The engine of the plane, the mechanics of the car. Nobody will teach them narcissism. I didn't learn about narcissism. If you learned about narcissism, let me know. I never heard that word in school. It is not even in the Bible. Hey, they glitch. When they hear no, you start to see like a computer program, they start glitching around. You know? No? You tell a narcissist no? They've never had that in their life. That is a very powerful one from Guadalupe. Saying too much. That is also one of the things with the empaths. You say too much. Sometimes you can over-explain yourself. You know, sometimes when you've been with a person and you feel like they have to know everything about you, even the ones that don't deserve the information, you just keep on talking and talking, you know. You just went for a job interview, they ask you for something, this job, this, you start explaining, oh, my wife, and then, you know, my son, my this, and my dog, you start explaining things. That's also one of the things with empaths. There is something that we naturally do. It is in our DNA. It is something that is natural and easy and automatic. We don't even force it, but it's something that is very common with all empaths. Sometimes you over-explain things. But I think as you heal, and this has also been one of the things I've experienced. The longer you heal, when you go on this healing, you heal. You stop feeling the need to over-explain things. You know, you can say what needs to be said, and then you will know what you need to keep for yourself. Okay, I've been on my journey and there are some things I decided to keep for myself because, okay, that is not necessary. That is for me. But there's something, before, back in the days, I used to just overshare. So a lot of these individuals, the vampiric spirits, they have usually used a lot of the things you've told them against you. So let's say that you was with this narcissist and then you told them something about your grandmother or maybe about your parent. Something happened when you was a kid. You shared with them something because you're like, okay, so this is a relationship. You know, sometimes we need to share things with people. You told them something. Did you know that that narcissist actually later on used that thing against you? Hey, just like you said, when you was a kid, your mother did this, and they'll bring it against you. Sometimes you overshare things, you may overspeak, but it's understandable because, like I've said, the more you start to heal and work on yourself, you no longer you no longer feel the need to over-explain anything. You say what needs to be said when it needs to be said, but you don't have to over-explain everything. It's one of the points that our friend has made here, you know, Guadalupe. Okay? There's another cons I want to speak about of being an empath. People will like you at one point and they're going to hate you at the same time. Have you ever met someone and they was very full of energy? I've just given you the example of that Jezebel. Oh, I like you, this, I like what you do, hey, that's my email, look at my picture, this and this. And then I said no, and the Jezebel went in rage instantly. So people will like you. You have a beautiful energy. It's a good feeling to be around you because you carry, light, a lot of light, and people want being around you. But something happens when they're around you, and now you notice that in a few days or a few weeks, they're the ones, your number one haters. They came around you, you opened the door, you embraced them, you shared with them and stuff like that. In an instant, they started hating on you. And you don't even know what happened. 7777, 7 viewers, and 77 likes. That's a synchronicity up there. I don't know if you guys see that. People will like you, and they're going to hate you at the same time. Sometimes you may notice that the people that hate on you, they were the people that you once helped. They was once close to you, you helped them, you did a lot of things for them, then they won't just hate you, just out of the blue. No need to explain anything, they just hate on you. So it happens a lot with empaths. Okay? Another cons of being an empath that you will usually meet along your journey, you will usually attract a lot of people that are going to use you. You're going to be attracting a lot of users. You will attract so many users. So the users, they are the guys who come in, there is something they want from you, they get it, they're on their way. Have you guys ever met somebody and you help them with something? Maybe they come around and borrowed money from you, maybe they took something from you, and then they disappeared. You didn't see them again. They disappeared for months. You haven't heard from them. They didn't even call you. And then they will appear like 6 months later when they want some other money from you. Hey, how's it going? Hey, you remember me? Hey, this and this. They want something else. You give them, then they disappear. Those are the users. So those people, they are users. They only come because they know you've got something to offer. And there's something they can take from you. They will take it, then they will disappear. And they're going to wait for the next time they need something, then they will come back. Okay? That's also the qualities of being an empath. You attract a lot of users. An empath is a person who has at one point struggled with codependency. You may be a person who has been codependent at some point. Codependence is a toxic trait. It doesn't mean that you're a toxic person, but you have that toxic trait of codependency. You have got very unhealthy addictions with addiction to people, okay? You have been, for example, let me say, you had this parent who was very abusive. And then you got very attached to that person. Sometimes even very addicted to that person. It could be an ex-wife or a husband or wife. You got addicted to that toxic person. And I personally healed from codependency when I was starting my journey. I knew that I was a codependent. I used to get these very toxic attachments to people, very negative toxic people. I would get attachments to these people. Until I started to realize the difference between real and fake. I would realize, I would know it is toxic, but I'm just addicted to this toxicity. So sometimes I started learning how to remove myself from that toxicity. It's one of the things you're going to be dealing with on your journey, healing from that codependency, you know. Normally, codependency roots in family, okay? You don't want to hurt your parents. You have a lot of respect, love, and love for them, but at the same time, they are very toxic, they are very abusive. But you think that, okay, they're your parents, and you always have that feeling, you know, so sometimes it creates this kind of very, very unhealthy attachment to these people. And most of the times when you're deciding to break away is why you see the black sheep of the family, the scapegoat. That is where the trouble starts when you're starting to detach from these individuals, because you have got a very unhealthy attachment to these people. You know that they are very bad for you, but you are still attached to them. You're very addicted to these people. You're attached to them. You don't know exactly when you need to leave or when you need to stay. So that thing is also a bad thing about empaths, because many empaths, especially a lot of empaths, have grown up in, they have lived with toxic families. They have grown up in very difficult conditions, very abusive families, and those things have created codependency within them. Maybe not all empaths are codependent, but I'm speaking from my side. Me, I've dealt with codependency, okay? I always thought that I needed to be validated by a family member, by a parent. I needed somebody's yes for me to move. I never knew that I could make my own yes to move. So when I learned all those things, that this was something, a conditioning that was supposed to be a part of my healing, that's when I started working on it, to start validating myself and start to understanding how I needed to love myself. Is how I did. Codependency is healed by self-love. Whatever self-love means for you. So you have to go within you and start cultivating the love that is within you. You need to understand how to love yourself. Okay? Attachments, those codependency issues, attachment issues, they are teaching you something about life, that you need to love yourself. Understand how to love yourself. Understand how to validate yourself. Another thing that I can talk about is boundaries. Empaths have very weak boundaries. You know, a lot of times you've struggled with boundaries. You know, you don't have boundaries. Sometimes you see, you know, you have your own driveway. A lot of you guys in those, you know, those homes, and then there's a driveway. Somebody is parked in your yard. And you're, okay, let them park, it's okay. When you come now, you have your car, you don't know where to put your car. People, they overstep your boundaries. Sometimes you need your own space, and then you have got this family member who feels that they are entitled to your energy. Sometimes they are calling you, you're about to go to bed. Hey, but you know, I'm going to go to bed. Can we talk tomorrow? No. You cannot tell them we will talk tomorrow because, oh, he's a family member. Oh, he's my best friend. We have to talk. And they won't be telling you a lot of garbage. By the time the conversation is done, you've been on the phone with these people for 2 hours. But you could just simply have told them that, oh, you know, it's late at the moment, I cannot. Maybe even you didn't answer the phone. Or by the time you called, it was too late. So I was going to bed, I couldn't answer the phone. You will answer anyway. You don't have boundaries. And when people recognize and realize that you don't have boundaries, they use that against you. They start to step into your own personal space, because they feel you do not have personal boundaries, you know? Tembeka, what's up? Tembeka Gomedei. Tembeka, how are you? Where have you been? We're about to close. So that is the reality, ladies and gentlemen, of being an empath. You have to understand that it's a good thing to be able to... Empathy is a gift. Many of you guys didn't even know that empathy was a gift. I didn't know personally I was an empath, I've told you, for so many years. I woke up at 40. Empathy is a gift. It means that you're a real soul. When you're a person that can empathize with people around you, you are a real, genuine soul. Okay? Because some people don't even have any soul at all. Some people are soulless. So it's a good thing because it helps you in so many different ways. You can know sometimes when to step in. Is why you have been given this empathy by the Most High. Because there's going to be moments where you need to use that gift properly in different scenarios in your life, okay? Is why you have that gift of empathy, so that you can be able to use that in different scenarios depending on where you are, because it is supposed to be shared. Your empathy is meant to be shared with the masses, but at the same time you need to have to control. How much of your empathy do you need to share with other people? How much of it do you need? You don't just go and give yourself away and drain yourself out. But it also has got its cons. It's a beautiful thing, nice thing. You know, sometimes you can, emotionally connect with people. When you're in a relationship, you will genuinely connect with that person emotionally. It is not about this dry, surface level relationships. You will go deep with that person emotionally. But you have got to use it wisely and correctly. Okay? So the next time we are going to be talking about the pros of being an empath. I've shared with you 8 today. 9 cons of being an empath. The next time we'll talk about the pros, okay? So guys, it's been a pleasure. 1.5, nearly 100 minutes in. Let's know what you think, guys. It's been a pleasure to chat with you guys today. Thank you, everyone who has been participating in the comment section. Thanks to the moderators. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Natukunda Jennifer, thank you. So let's talk next time, guys. Next time, I've told you pros of being an empath, okay? One love and blessings, guys. Peace.